this one is not good, but at least I would think this is actually a knock-knock joke.
Oh, you know the problem with a knock-knock joke?
What?
It, like, all it is anticipation for a punchline. That's why the jokes that don't sound like they're about to have a punchline are the best ones. That's why we laughed so much at that one before.
That's what the interrupting cow one is amazing. Because
the interrupting cow one? The interrupting
knock
cow?
knock.
Yeah. Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow who?
Moo.
Interrupting cow who?
Moo.
Interrupting cow who?
Moo. Moo.
I didn't say anything.
I know, I interrupted you.
Hi, welcome to this podcast where I'm on top. It's me, Abby. Me.
And it's me. Mish. We were going to talk about beginnings.
Yeah, this episode's about beginnings because obviously it's the beginning of this podcast, so it made thematical sense.
Seems apt, seems appropriate.
Seems emotionally appropriate and thematically appropriate. Oh yeah, wait.
That's the tea.
We literally just finished it though, because we've spent 17 minutes telling jokes.
No, well, I still have half my cup.
Mine's cold.
Gross.
Yeah. But yeah, this one's about beginnings.
Okay.
But before we do that, hit a little bit about myself. I'm a cancer survivor.
Don't do this.
I just want to like hit my lowest point so then I can work my way back up. This is the episode that I like do something irredeemable, but then I redeem myself.
I
as the episodes go on.
I don't think the
You know what? Fuck y'all. I'm out.
I don't think the first episode is a good point to do that because you're still in the ordinary world. But if the ordinary world is just you being a shit, I don't think people will listen to the rest of it.
That's true. I guess you should get people on your side before you get them off your side.
That's why in Casablanca we find out that Rick did a cool thing running guns in Ethiopia before he's just a dick for the rest of the movie. Because then we're like, oh, but he's a good guy.
He's a hero.
Yeah.
He's Humphrey Bogart.
And the Nazis try and make the bar less swinging, and then he's like, hey.
So what you're saying is like I should like run guns in Ethiopia?
Yes.
Run guns?
Run them.
Run guns.
Run guns.
Essentially, yeah, I'm Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah.
And you're Ingrid Bergman. And tonight, we're running with guns. Running with guns, running with guns, running with guns.
You make it sound like the theme song is Morse code. It says running guns.
Running with guns, running with guns. We need more guns to run. Running with guns. Hey, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful podcast. But yeah, my name's Abby, and I'm not feeling my best tonight. Terrible way to start.
My name's Mish, and ditto.
Yeah, we're not feeling great. Probably not the best time to do a pilot podcast episode, but hey, if you're not with it, eat a biscuit.
If you're not with it, eat a biscuit.
New catchphrase.
New catchphrase, if
Make
you're not
shirts.
with it, eat a biscuit.
Sell it on Etsy, but give us a profit. I'm Abby, and welcome to this is a show where we drink tea and we talk about anxieties, because sometimes it's easier to talk about things that are terrible and scare you rather than talk to a professional. Hey, I'm Abby, and I refuse to seek help. Make that a catchphrase. I want shirts. Make a shirt that says I want shirts. I want a meta shirt.
Yeah, it's just a shirt that says make a shirt, yeah.
Or shirt within a shirt. That's a true meta shirt. Make a shirt and then sew a shirt into it. We are gonna start.
I'll add in I'll just add in an edit point for you so we know where to cut in.
Thank you. Keep it in. We're not editing that out.
Also, by the way, it's very similar to my submarine impression. Boop. 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 Sergeant, there's something on the radar, and then it's just a circle. And they're like, my God, I can read the ocean floor.
Yeah, you know in like submarine radars where it's just like it's like those moving green dots.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, I can see something on this map. It's heading towards us. And then they look through their huge magnifying glass. That. And they look through. I love the subs. And they look through that, and then they just see a neon green orb floating in the ocean. Like, it's just like the radar said.
It's actually a really accurate
It's
radar.
great. Yeah. They see a mermaid on the radar, like fully detailed as well.
Which do you think is dumber, when it's just a neon green circle, or where it's like a picture of a thing?
Oh, the picture of the thing is nuts.
Yeah, sometimes
That's
in like a
insane.
movie, it'll be like, there's a submarine, and it's like an outline of a submarine, but like as you would see from a cross section.
That doesn't make sense. Like, radars pick up on items, not what the items are.
Yeah.
Picks up on something heading towards something, right? I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
I'm pretty sure it just sends out like waves, and then those waves will get reflected back by objects in the sea.
Too much science talk, babe. Not enough anxiety.
Okay. I'm anxious about how I just decide to interject with things all the time.
I'm anxious about how I'm holding in a burp. But those of you listening at home that doesn't know what anxiety is, I just want you to I just want to read to you exactly what the Oxford Dictionary defines anxiety as, just for you, those of you listening at home that aren't familiar with what anxiety is. Okay, this is what anxiety is. It says, we use cookies to enhance your experience on our website. This website uses cookies that provide targeting advertising which track your use of this website. By clicking continue or by continuing to use our website, you are agreeing to our use of cookies. You can change your cookie settings at any time. And that, I think, just pretty much sums up exactly what we're going for here in here at Anxiety HQ. Anxiety HQ.
I don't think that sounds right. So I found a different definition of anxiety. Ants are eusocial insects of the family Formicidae, and along with the related wasps and bees belong to the order Hymenoptera. Yeah, so that's why I always remember, I always say remember your family, and try not to associate with wasps and bees.
See, that's not what I've heard about. Like, I've heard completely different things about anxiety. What I heard was, Zed the worker ant, Woody Allen, strives to reconcile his own individuality with the communal work ethic of the ant colony. He falls in love with ant princess Bala, Sharon Stone. Zed strives to make social inroads and then must
Bala's
save the
Sharon
ant
Stone?
colony from the treacherous scheming of the evil general man, and then it just trails off. But I think what we're trying to say is, keep the struggle.
So beginnings.
Beginnings. Everything's got a beginning. And everything's got a butthole. And that's everything I've got to say about it. Beginnings are tricky, obviously.
Yeah.
We just don't know where to start. Because beginnings are so vague. Maybe we shouldn't do it in one episode.
Well, that's why I broke it.
Sorry.
That's why I broke it down. We can always have beginnings too.
Beginnings too. I love
Electric
that.
Boogaloo.
We just couldn't stop beginning.
We...
Put that on a show. Boing.
Wow, wow, wow.
Boing, boing, boing.
Wow, wow, wow. Oh, oh, oh. Boy, yo, 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 yo.
And we're back.
That was our ad for the New York Sound Effects Library. Get all of your sound effects at NYSFX.
SFS MTM JP.
What does it all stand for?
That's just my ad for letters. A's a great one. It's the first. And we're back. So this one is about beginning things, but in particular beginning a podcast.
Yeah.
Or even just beginning a project.
Yeah. Beginning a project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not podcast specific, but beginning specific.
Yeah.
Beginning things is whack.
Well, what's
W stands for worrying.
Well,
A stands for anabony. C stands for can't make up words for an acrostic poem. And K stands for confusing.
Where's the K? Oh, you're doing whack.
Yeah. And we're whack.
Yeah, no, well, what's like an example of what's something recently what's like a project that you've started that got you really, really anxious?
This.
This? Yeah.
This is very anxiety inducing. I went to JB Hi-Fi and I bought Hi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what I think Hi-Fi is. I bought the Hi-Fi end of JB Hi-Fi stuff. I went to JB Hi-Fi. I bought audio equipment. I mean, it wasn't much. It was 2 mics.
We had to look it up too.
I had to look it up. I did research into microphones.
Yeah.
I've never done research into microphones. Thinking about a purchase makes me anxious because I'm worried I'll fuck it up and it will hurt me more than I thought about it. So that's why I impulse spend. So then I'm like, oh, it sucks. I didn't think about it though, and I didn't make a mistake.
See, I do
Then
that
it can't let me
too.
down.
Every time I start a new project, if it requires to buy something, I spend fucking forever like researching and looking it up and anxiously going like, what if I make the wrong one?
Yeah.
It can be 2 like identical products, and then I'm like, oh, but what if I pick the one that's bad, and then someone else sees it and they're like, why would you pick that one?
Well, ironically, I bought 2 identical products, and apparently I shouldn't have because it's really hard to record 2 mics with 2 identical mic, pieces of equipment.
Well,
Apparently, you're meant to use 2 different brands of mic.
What, according to who?
According to Apple, because Apple can't pick up on 2 different, on 2 different mics that are under the same name.
Well, I think that's usually fine because usually you have like a little audio mixer, and then you plug the audio mixer into the.
Yeah, but if you're doing USB to laptop, like we are on a budget, ching ching ching, put it on a shirt. Wow.
Soundboard today is provided by Squarespace.com.
Squarespace, I think. And we're back from that little interlude. Yeah, I bought mics. I thought about the theme. I got someone to draw our cover art. That was terrifying.
Yeah, interacting with people.
I had to interact with 2 people to do this. It was awful. I would never, ever recommend it. Don't follow your dreams. Just submit and die. Put it on a shirt.
I have given up on projects because beginning them requires interacting with people.
Yeah.
Like, several times.
Yeah, every time I start a project, my first thought is, what if I fail?
No, absolutely.
And then I have to redefine what my idea of failure is, and then I have an existential crisis, and then I just don't do what I initially set out to do.
Yeah.
Which is why with this, I just kind of mindlessly plowed through all of the research, all of the prep, all of the buying equipment and talking to people about what I wanted to make, and then I just did it anyway, which is great because typically I just don't do that.
Yeah. See, I too often try and do that and then let the anxiety get the better of me. Like, if I'm like, I'm gonna do a short or a web series or something, then I'll go and it's fine if it's bad because you should do that, you know? Like, it doesn't matter if it's bad, challenge yourself to be a bad writer or whatever. You know, hey, the stakes are low, it's all learning, da-da-da. And I remind myself of those things. But then there's still the anxious bit at the back of the brain going like, yeah, but if it's bad, doesn't that make you a bad person?
Yeah.
And
if it's bad, does it make you a useless, worthless person?
Yeah, exactly.
And if it's bad, will your mom listen to it and be ashamed of you? And if it's bad, will you be ashamed of you? And if it's bad, will your friends laugh at you behind your back?
I mean, I get anxious of that all the time. My old high school YouTube channel was literally that, in that I would make videos and my friends would laugh about me behind my back because they were really bad.
Nightmare. It's over. This podcast is over.
It's a nightmare scenario, but it happened.
Oh, Christ. I don't want that to happen. I want to make something good. I want this to be good, but I don't know if it's going to be good. I'm not like a put-together person. I can't make a put-together product for you. Yeah. This is what it is. It's messy. It's stupid. Listen to it. Listen to our problems. Relate to them. Be like, oh, me in the car to yourself when you're driving to work, when you're mindless slug to your everyday job that you hate. Just think, me, same, subscribe.
Well, that's why, like, the only way I can get past the anxiety of doing this and trying to actually do something that I've wanted to do for a very long time, which is do a podcast, which is awesome.
It's great.
Yeah. The only way I can get through doing it right now and all the anxiety is if I go like, this is like a Training Wheels podcast. If it crashes and burns, it's fine. We'll just make 5 more.
That's exactly it. I keep thinking to myself, but if like no one likes this podcast and it never becomes anything and then I stop doing it after a month, it's fine. It was all practice and experience and I didn't really want it to be good, but I do want it to be good. I'll say that out loud. I hope this podcast is good and that people listen to it, but I don't really think anyone will.
Well, it's like how Edgar Wright, like his first movie is not Shaun of the Dead. It's A Fistful of Fingers, which he made after directing a bunch of TV, and it's so bad. He's literally buried it. It's so bad, and he's so ashamed of it.
That's so comforting.
Well, I always get comforted by that, but then I'm still like, but I want my one to be Shaun of the Dead.
The thing is, I chose this topic, which is just talking about general anxieties, because it's super low stakes. We have heaps of anxiety to talk about, but also, I'm not an expert on anything.
No.
So I can't think of anything else I could talk about as long as I could talk about what generally worries me every day of my life.
I think part of it is also that, like, the things that we're, and I'm doing quotation marks, experts on is like just like film, and there's a lot of those.
There's a lot of film ones, and they're all fucking boring.
A lot of them are boring.
And that's something else that worries me about starting a podcast, is that I don't like a lot of podcasts. I don't like a lot of conversational podcasts, like exactly what this is. I find a lot of them monotonous and I can't pay attention. But then, like, if I get obsessed with certain podcasts and I really grow to like the people, then I'll happily listen to the conversation. But I've never sought out a just conversational podcast.
Well, that's part of talking about beginning podcasts. That's what always has made me anxious about beginning a podcast, is that I like the conversational ones where you like the people and their characters and they become familiar. They're almost like your friends. You get addicted to the sound of their voices.
And I want that for people listening to this.
I just get really anxious that, like, what if people don't like me?
Exactly. What if they don't like you, man? Yeah, I am full of fear that people will tune in and be like, they're fucking nuts. And we are, but you have to like that. That's the whole thing.
It's supposed to be endearing.
I'm crazy, you're crazy. We're gonna get to know each other and relate to each other because it's nice hearing that other people have the same problems.
You just hear the anxiety dripping from us.
It's just tea, I spilled it on myself. Just kidding, I'm super clean.
But we tied the two in together, you know, the Anxietea and the tea.
One harmonious podcast.
If I had a child, maybe I would name them Anxietea.
Shit, I shouldn't have said Harmon. Copyright. That's my favorite. Oh no, that's a podcast.
How did this get anxious? Yeah. You can't do the dollop.
I can't.
I just
I'm
tried.
trying.
I knew it would be the first thing you thought of too.
The dollop of tea. But yeah, starting things is intimidating, especially when it's a creative project that kind of requires you to put your heart and soul on the line for people's viewing pleasure.
You have to be a person.
Yeah, you have to be a fucking human being, and I'm terrified of being that, so I try to just be a lobster. No.
And I just don't know how. That's why I get so anxious. But that's a topic for a different time.
That is totally a topic for a different time. But to touch on that, and then we'll come back to it a different time. Tune in later. I will never forget that someone at work once mentioned that they have imposter syndrome, and when they listed it, that's exactly what I suffer.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't feel like I'm allowed to be part of anything. So making a podcast, I'm having severe imposter syndrome because I'm thinking, I'm not allowed to do this. I'm not anyone of note. I haven't done anything with my life. I'm not old enough to be experienced enough to have a podcast. I'm an imposter podcaster because I've only just begun and I don't have a podcast yet.
I literally had the same realization a few weeks ago, but not with the imposter syndrome, just I feel like I'm not allowed to be a part of anything.
Yeah. But yeah, starting things is terrifying. But here's the tip of the day. Just start them anyway.
I like tip of the day.
Tip of the day.
Tip of the day is great.
Tip of the day.
Anxious tip of the day.
I got $5. What was your tip of the day?
No, I agree with just do things anyway.
Yeah.
Because like that is my method through doing anything. I've had students of mine ask how, for one thing, like how are you working? How are you a teacher? How'd you cut a feature? And it's like
it rhymes as well.
Yeah. And it's I have to say to them, like, I don't have any tips because I don't feel like I'm allowed to do them, even after several years of doing them. It's just that when somebody is like, hey, cut this, if I just say, okay, then they are convinced that I know how to do it, and then I can just continue to be anxious, but then it's getting done.
Yeah. And
like when the school was like, please come and teach, it's like, if I just say, okay, then I will teach whether I'm anxious or not. And so then I'm still just as anxious, but instead of being anxious about, oh, should I teach or not? It's, oh, I'm not, I don't know how to teach. And then I teach a few lessons and I'm like, I'm not teaching well enough. Like the marker of the amount of anxiety doesn't change, but the marker of what the anxiety is moves. And so that means I kind of feel like I'm making progress, even though I'm still feeling just as anxious about the same thing. You know?
For sure.
That's why, I like that advice of, like, if you're feeling really anxious about starting something, just start it anyway.
Well, that's the thing. When you're anxious, it's just a lot of bad thoughts. So just try not to think.
Yeah.
Which is terrible advice. But try not to overthink
Well,
like
it's
I
really-
do, which is like if I thought more about this podcast and I very specifically chose to not really think about it, i.e. why we talked about what we should talk about this episode for about 10 minutes while we were recording.
Yeah.
But if I don't think about things too much, it often just turns out better. That's why I'm a big advocate for winging it if you have anxiety.
Yeah. I do that too, and I'm really anxious about a lesson. I don't actually overplan. I plan and plan and plan, but I plan a really loose plan.
Yeah.
So that it's impossible to overplan, but it's like a really structured loose plan.
Yeah.
And so then when I get there, I'm like, okay, I can just sort of wing it because I know this stuff.
We never really explained who we were very well. Like, if we're people that people should like, shouldn't we explain who we are?
Well, I don't know. I feel like the first episode of My Favorite Murder, Karen and Georgia didn't spend like ages going like, I do this and I do that.
We don't need to spend ages, but I definitely felt annoyed that they never explained who they were and I had to go look it up. Hey,
never minded.
I'm Abby. You don't need to look me up. I'm not on the internet. I'm not famous or anything, but I work in a job that I don't care about and I want to be a screenwriter. And I've got, oh boy, so much to tell ya. And I'm a Gemini.
I'm Mish. I work as an editor and I also teach editing. And I hate both of it.
And this is our sound guy, Peter. Say hi, Peter.
Hey, it's me, Peter.
He's a great guy. Peter, remember that road trip we took in '79 with Led Zeppelin?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
We went down to the Devil's Marbles and we pushed one over.
Love that we don't have a sound guy and we'll have to make one up. But yeah, back to the point. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Ants, the movie. And we're back. This is a podcast where we talk about Ants, the movie, just over and over again. We'll
And
give
the
you
anxiety-
synopsises, we'll do Woody Allen impressions.
The anxiety I feel around the movie Ants is phenomenal.
It's massive.
The structure is crazy.
It's insane. And I haven't watched it in 10 years, so I'm very anxious about talking about it.
It's a long first act.
But back to the point.
We have to leave that in, right?
Yeah. That was our sidebar section. And now to our ads for Primo Jeans.
Have you ever needed jeans? Well, at Primo Jeans, you can...
Thanks for starting that off, Peter. Hi, I'm Gina from Primo Jeans. Have you ever had a pair of jeans and you're just like, not quite the right fit, color, shape, or design? Hi, I'm Gina from Primo Jeans, and I'm here to give you a pair of jeans that you'll never say that about. We have jeans coming in all kinds of jeans. So come here at Primo Jeans in an indistinguishable location to get your pair of Primo
jeans!
And we're back. Put it on a shirt.
Just, I'm gonna tomorrow wake up.
Yeah,
I'll do
that's
that.
the worst.
No, I'm going to come back on Monday, and then you will have set up a website, and there'll be 40 shirt designs.
It's all for Primo Jeans.
None of them are the shirts you've mentioned that you should make shirts of. They're all for Primo Jeans. How hard is it to make jeans? We could make a jean brand.
We could probably make fucking jeans. Fuck the podcast. Let's make jeans.
Yeah.
It's
How hard is
super
it?
easy.
You get some denim.
We buy some denim.
You make it into
stitch
two
it.
cylinders, and then you kind of attach it
little
to like
pouch.
a wider cylinder.
Yeah. If you've got like a heavy
That's how you make
vagina,
pants,
you make a
right?
little
When you just attach it in the middle, so it's like two
easy.
cylinders.
It's like a
and
big
then there's
nappy with leggings.
like a loincloth.
Oh.
You just sew it all together, and then you've got pants.
It's lovely. They fit me so well. That's our robot sound guy, Peter. They fit me so good.
But his name's spelled like Pityr.
3,000 explosions.
Yeah, 3000.
Explosion. Someone put the emoji at the end of his name and he always says it.
Explosion, eggplant, 3000.
Surprise face. And we're back. We've barely spoken about our true
No,
anxieties.
we did like a whole rant about
Did we?
anxiety. Yeah.
Did you enjoy my rant? Will you make t-shirts? Will you buy my Primo jeans? You'll find out next episode.
The next episode's topic is decisions.
Decisions are hard. Decisions. And then the episode after that is lasagna. I like the idea of us telling people what the next one will be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it'd kind of be nice to know what is in store.
Well, the next one will be about decisions, and it's on Netflix. Just go binge it now.
Yeah,
go
go
do
now,
it.
go now. Nailed it!
Nailed It kind of has the worst theme song.
It's the worst show. I love it. We're the Nailed It of TV shows.
We're not going to get copyrighted for me doing that perfect impression of
We're
the
gonna
theme
get
song,
copyrighted
right?
for everything that we've said today. Our tea is long gone. Our cups are cold, but our hearts are full of merriment. If only you would join us too, another day grows old. And in those summer yonder beasts, if they had a woodland sprint or two, then I would join you for a cup of yeast and have a laugh with you.
Bye. Bye.
Sexual.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, I love that. No, I don't like it. No, I love that. So, goodbye. No, goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Wait, I've got to make it perfect.
Okay. And then you're going to cut in just like the right one. Good night.
Cassie, do you want some fucking food? What a disaster.